Yo, what's up guys? I'm out here on my 2019 Ninja 1000, running some errands. Currently I'm trying to get my GoPro mount on the front of my helmet a little bit better attached, so I stopped over here at Home Depot and picked up some JB welds so we can work on making a custom mount. You turn in there, cool. And now I'm going to zoom over to Redmond, and I'm going to go pick up, I forget what they call them, like an X-grip, something like that. And anyway, it's a phone holder. It's going to go in the center stem of my bike here, because having one of those would be quite nice to be able to have the phone out, maybe have GPS directions. So I just recently upgraded to the Sena 50S, and when I mean upgraded, that's going from nothing to a Sena 50S, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm using the microphone right now to make this little Moto vlog with, and I think the audio quality comes out pretty good. The only problem that I have seen with it is that it can popple and crack a little bit. Well, it looks like that guy was broken down. I drove through here earlier and that guy was there. It's an old man. Kind of felt bad for him. It's, what, 93 out right now? Hot, dry sun. That looks like he's getting taken care of. Anyway, we're going to take old Ben Redmond here. That way we can enjoy a little bit more scenery. But I'm going to be going down to Ace Motorsports, I believe is what they call it, down in Redmond. They have the grip I'm looking for. Jeez, I just can't remember the name. But anyway, I guess while we're out on a ride today, we can talk about just the 2019 Ninja 1000 here. I picked this up. It's the year 2020, obviously, and looks like we're good there. And it was for sale. You know, a lot of you guys know COVID-19 is happening, and during that, I lost some work, but I had money saved up, so I was figuring, well, I might as well go and buy a motorcycle and have something to do in the meantime. So I picked this up, and fortunately, I got it for a screaming deal. These retail right now. You can go on Kawasaki's website and order one for $12,100. But down where I picked it up at Power Motorsports in Sublimity, Oregon, they had this listed for $8,000, like $7,900. And so I went ahead and drove down there and checked out the bike, because I honestly thought the deal was too good to be true on a bike like this. You know, getting a 1 liter for $8,000 that's brand new with 0 miles just seemed a little too good to be true. But I went down there, checked out the bike, and well, here it is. It's definitely everything that I want in a bike. I mean, there's definitely a few things wrong with it, which I'll try to cover on this ride. But as far as me, it has the higher sitting up position because it is the SX version, so you're not just like laying on a tank like this the whole time. And I mean, to some people they don't mind doing that, but I enjoy doing touring, cruising, going places, and you know, you can do that on any bike, but how comfortable you are at the end is kind of up to you. So, and the bike that you choose. So getting the SX was kind of one of the things I liked about it, is that bright sitting position. Being the 1000cc as well, that definitely has its perks. Now, one thing that I mean I don't like about it necessarily is it is kind of slow. I mean, this is kind of subjective because everyone has, you know, their idea of fast and slow, but I can get it up to 150, but that's about where it tops out at, and I can keep up with most 600s and 1000s up to that 150, and then from there the, you know, ZX10s and Yamaha R1s and whatnot, CBR 1000s, those all keep going all the way up to 180, 190, depending on how the bike is tuned. So, you know, I kind of wish I had that extra power, but at the same time, what this has is enough for me. It definitely gets me from point A to point B at a speed that I'm happy with. So one of the things that I do kind of wish this bike also had, being a 2019, you can see down here, it has the older head unit on it. and the newer 2020 bikes have an upgraded, like, all-screen digital dash, and so you no longer have that tachometer that's, you know, regular one. You're going to get that digital tachometer instead, which is cool. But, you know, for me, when I saw the difference between the two bikes, I mean, I would definitely like the 2020 for that reason, have that nice heads-up display, but it also is a lot more money, and for $8,000, you know, I'll settle with what I got. The 2020, they also came with cruise control. That's the other thing that I miss, that I wish this bike kind of had, because cruise control, just on long trips, even like a 4-hour trip on this bike, it's pretty comfortable. Like, I took it over to the coast. The only thing that sucked was those long straightaways where I'm just holding my hand, and you know, you definitely get sore after a while, even though it's an SX and it has that upper seating position. It can still get kind of monotonous after a while. So some things I definitely do really like about this, though, being the 1000, having the power, that's always good. Just the on-demand torque. It gets you going really quick. I love the look of this bike. I mean, it's the blacked out 2019 version. I think the 2020, they only had it in like a green version, which is cool and everything, but I always have a soft spot in my heart for these blacked out sort of bikes. And I do want to plastic up my windshield on the inside so it still has the nice gloss on the outside, and so I can just have a blacked out windshield as well and call it all together. So anyway, this bike's been pretty good for me. I really don't have too many complaints. I think what kind of sucks is getting the panniers that go on the back side of the bike. They're pretty expensive if you get the Kawasaki OEM ones. I believe they're like $1,600 is what I've seen on the website. But I was looking around on eBay and I saw some that were for sale in the UK, and they were only $800. So it definitely saves you a little bit of money there. Here we go. Here's some open road. Yeah, that 1000 power though. So I don't know. This bike's been pretty nice. The adjustable suspension that comes along on the bike, being able to adjust your rear preload, I think that's pretty nice, doing that on the fly, just with like a knob on the back seat there. Depending if you have like a pillion with you or not, you can soften up that suspension a little bit to make it more comfortable of a ride, or if you chose to take this bike out to the track, you could tighten it up quite a bit and have a little bit more stability back there. But the bike overall is pretty rounded off. Another thing that I'm not too stoked about, that I mean this is kind of like a 50-50 thing for me, is the windshield itself. The windshield's pretty good, but I don't know. Like right now it's fine. Like I can duck under it and it's gonna like cover, like make the wind go over my head. So in the down position it's good. What I was hoping though is this has 3 positions. Speed up a little bit here, and you can put it all the way up like that. And this is great for touring because then you'd have more wind going over, and it definitely does pull the wind a little bit out of your face. But I find that instead of going completely over, it's hitting me around, face level, chin level, maybe even the chest, which depending on where you're riding, makes it kind of useless in a way. I took this bike down to Oklahoma and it's super windy down there, and just on my trip, it was nice having the windshield up like that, but still the gusts are coming and hitting you and bobbing your head around. So one thing I wish they may look into doing in the future is just maybe extending the windshield up just a little bit, or maybe just redesigning it in an air tunnel, however they need to do that. But honestly, that's, like I said, kind of a 50-50 thing. It's fine the way it is and it works pretty well. But overall, it's a pretty good bike, and for, like I said, the $8,000 I paid for it, I have no complaints. I have a pretty fun bike to ride around during this COVID time, and it'll be enough to keep me busy. What's up, buddy? So I do have a couple more bikes at home that I'd like to take out and show you guys. I got a WR250R 2020 that I just picked up a few months ago. And I primarily got that bike to take out on the back trails around Central Oregon and There's a lot of forest roads up here that lead to lakes and whatnot that obviously this bike wouldn't be suitable to take down. And then they also have, I mean, you can take your truck on these roads too, but then you're going to have to go slow on the washboard where that WR will just take you where you need to go. I also got the Polaris Slingshot at home, which, you know, depending on, oops, I don't know what that was, depending on who you ask, it's kind of a motorcycle, kind of not. I mean, definitely like a mix between a car and a motorcycle. Yeah, I'll have to make a video on one of those as well. I know we're thinking about doing a group ride up McKenzie Pass this weekend, so I'm kind of thinking if I want to take this bike or if I want to take the Slingshot. I know last time we did it, I took this bike, and it's definitely fun, and this bike will keep up with the pack pretty well. Unlike the Slingshot, I mean, there's just no way it's going to keep up with sport bikes as much, except for maybe in the corners and whatnot, because that's where the Slingshot really does its good, it really shows itself, is when you're in the corners and those three wheels are pulling you around, getting you where you need to go. So between these three bikes, I got plenty. Like, wake up every day and like, oh, what am I going to drive today, you know? What a problem to have. But I think I plan on keeping this for a while. I've had this bike for about 3 months now. I got 2,500 miles on it or so, and I've really enjoyed it. But I gotta say, every time I get on it, it's like, I kind of wonder, is this the day someone's gonna hit me? And it's not myself that I necessarily worry about. It's really other drivers. I went to the coast a couple weekends back with the family, and on my way back, I was going over a hill, and as I crossed the top of it and started to go down to the other side, all I saw was a car in my lane, and I had about 2 seconds to react to swoop over and get into this lane right here, and I saw him just fly by me like that. And yeah, that was pretty sketchy, because there's always people out there like that that are driving their vehicles a little recklessly, and being on a motorcycle, you're definitely at a disadvantage there, because if you get hit, you can get murked pretty easy. But that's kind of the fun about having a bike, I guess. It's really fun with the fast speed that a 1000 like this delivers, and just the friends that you can meet, just the roads you can go and cruise on. There's a lot of great things, but it seems like bikes also come with that other side of it where you can get hit and killed any minute, it seems. But I guess that's kind of true with anything, and that's what doesn't scare me off from riding a bike. And to some it may, and to some it won't. I got hit on my very first bike that I had, because I stopped for a pedestrian and someone wasn't paying attention, and they rear-ended me on that bike, and I ended up breaking my neck. And fortunately I can still walk, and that gives me the ability to ride bikes, but if you ask some other people if that happened to them, they may just hang up the boots and quit riding altogether. We're gonna lose all three or just two of them? It just looks like two of them. Thunder sauce. Oh yeah, that on-demand power right there. Alright, well, we're getting in here to Redmond. If you guys are thinking about going out and buying one of the Ninja 1000s, I would definitely recommend it. To me, it's just finding the best price on the bike that you can. And whether you go buy one used or buy one brand new, these are good bikes. They really are. It's ran really well for me. Haven't had any issues in the 2,500 miles. I mean, not that I would definitely expect that for a bike that costs this much, but it's definitely just, it's made me pretty happy. I guess the one thing that is kind of a drawback about owning a bike like this, especially a black one, is the paint. It's a lot of washing on this bad boy, and any scratch will just show through so easily. So if you're thinking about going out and buying a black bike for yourself, just know that you're going to be in for a lot of polishing and cleaning just to keep your bike looking nice and up top. And that's something I definitely recognize. You don't wash your bike, people will see it and maybe just turn their head, look a blind eye to it. But when you have a washed bike, especially one of these Ninjas, it seems like gas attendants and people you see on the streets, everyone wants to say something about it, which is always pretty cool. So just a good looking bike in general. Fun bike to drive. Drop that windshield back down. You know, my complaints about it truly are minimal. The only other thing I would say, if you're ever considering getting a bike like this, especially in the 1000, is just the insurance price. For me to do insurance on this is $1,800 a year, and I'm a pretty responsible driver. Oh, this is nice. I just washed it though. Okay, we'll stay on hard pack here. So the insurance price being $1,800 a month, you got to ask yourself, really, is it more worth it to, or $1,800 a month, $1,800 a year? Is it more worth it to, you know, pay full coverage insurance for a few years on it, or is it going to be better for you to self-insure and save up some money so if something does happen, you can pay for it? And honestly, that's the method I ended up going with, because I couldn't see myself spending money on a bike like that for collision insurance or comprehensive, excuse me. So if I make a mistake, you know, I'm the one paying for it at this point, which is fine, because to be completely honest with you, when you're riding a motorcycle, depending on what sort of mistake you make, you know, if you drop it in a parking lot, you know, it might be a mirror or a scuffed up, you know, quarter panel here, or was it fairing, excuse me. But if you make a big mistake and, like, you know, go around a corner too fast and go off a cliff, even if your bike's completely destroyed, there's a chance you're just going to be dead. So, you know, how much is that full coverage worth to you? You know, so I think that's a question you got to ask yourself as a rider. You know, what sort of riding are you going to be doing, and then you can make those sorts of decisions. But just know, if you get a 1000 like this, that's definitely going to be one of the things you're going to be facing with it, is just high insurance prices. But I gotta say, even without the insurance covering me, I still, like the comprehensive, I believe that's what that's called, I still have insurance, like for theft, damage, fire, flooding, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, my bike is protected when it's parked at a parking lot. It's protected when it's in my shop if a forest fire comes through. It's safe. If I'm on it and I crash it, though, that's on me, though. And I think that's fair, because I really don't want to crash, so I need to be riding within limits that I can face the penalties if I do it, you know? Ride within your range. But we've gotten in here to Redmond. Guess we'll go this way, follow the old farm truck. Man, it's 99 over here in the valley. 100. Sure is worm. Well, I've talked to you guys plenty about the Ninja. You know, it's a great bike. It's up to you. Whether you decide to get a 1000, 600s. I know this is more of just my first impressions of the bike, or more like a 1 month impression, 2 month impression. I've had time on it, and so far no real major complaints. I guess, you know what, now that I do think of it, there was one thing that does just kind of bother me with this bike, and it's once again kind of minuscule, but it's the throttle. I mean, you see that right there? I just bumped it a little bit, and it goes, it jerks. And I think you're going to get that problem with any fuel-injected motorcycle, that jerkiness, but I've definitely seen some people on the Kawasaki forums talk about how there are ways to fix it with tuning and whatnot, and I believe there's someone on the Kawasaki 1000 forums that does it for like $750, I think is what it was, for him to do a tune. So it's not too terribly expensive, but you know, when you own a bike like this, ooh, Jesus, stuff definitely starts to add up. That was a little bit of a last minute turn, Mr. Semi. But that's why we watch the road, folks. People are always doing crazy shit. So we're about here to Ace Motorsports. I think this is where I'm going to end the vlog today. I really hope you guys enjoyed coming on a ride along with me, and I apologize if there's any crackling in the audio. I'm still trying to figure out how to get that the best I can for you guys. Anyway, it was nice hearing from you guys, and I'll talk to you next time. This is Oregon Original signing out.